Welcome to our channel. Today, we have the following news. The Prisoner of Beauty ends on a high note that leaves lingering regrets. On the evening of May 29th, The Prisoner of Beauty officially concluded its 2-week run, delivering a satisfying finale that saw the central couple, Zu'er and Wei Xiao, finally unite in happiness. The villains received their punishments, justice was served, and audiences were momentarily content. As proof of its popularity, the hashtag The Ending of The Prisoner of Beauty quickly soared to the top spot on Weibo's trending list, garnering over 100 million views. Despite its controversies, the show managed to keep viewers engaged to the very end. However, behind this seemingly triumphant ending lies a sense of disappointment, an undercurrent of what could have been. While the final episode tied up most storylines neatly, the journey there was riddled with narrative missteps and missed potential. The Prisoner of Beauty began with a bold and promising departure from traditional tropes. In a refreshing twist, the harrowing Qiao Zu'er was portrayed as a rational, forward-thinking woman who took the initiative to reconcile the generational feud between the Qiao and Wei families. Her intelligence, emotional maturity, and diplomatic courage intrigued the audience, as did her sharp and often tense exchanges with Wei Xiao. This setup hinted at a gripping political drama, full of power struggles, strategic alliances, and psychological duels. Unfortunately, as the plot progressed, the series gradually veered away from this ambitious direction. What began as a cleverly constructed narrative devolved into the familiar formula of a conventional historical romance. The development of the main couple's relationship was rushed, with their romantic bond forming far too quickly, leaving little room for emotional build-up or narrative tension. Instead of continuing to explore the nuanced conflicts between duty, love, and legacy, the drama shifted toward more generic domestic interactions, making the once compelling plot feel increasingly ordinary and predictable. Even the element of political intrigue, so promising in the early episodes, was never fully realized. Attempts to inject suspense through court politics and power plays came across as half-hearted. Many of the so-called strategic confrontations lacked depth or logical coherence, and often felt inserted merely to pad the story rather than drive it. The screenplay's execution of these intrigue arcs felt immature and superficial, missing the opportunity to challenge viewers with layered conflicts. Similar criticism had previously been directed at Lost You Forever too, which also suffered from a thin and at times childish narrative structure. In that sense, The Prisoner of Beauty unfortunately followed the same path. As a result, despite the romantic storyline finding some stability toward the end, the series left many viewers dissatisfied. On Douban, China's major review platform, the show managed only a 6.4 rating, a mediocre score that fell far short of the initial hype. Many viewers expressed frustration at the film's decline in quality, lamenting how it began with so much promise but ultimately succumbed to clichés. A recurring comment compared it to an elephant's head and a mouse's tail, a grand opening followed by a feeble conclusion. From a viewership perspective, The Prisoner of Beauty did see an impressive peak of 50 million daily views early on, commendable for a historical romance in today's highly competitive market. However, that momentum quickly waned. At one point, the numbers dipped to 42 million views per day. Although viewership saw a slight uptick in the final days, the series never managed to reclaim its peak popularity. Compounding the issue was its unfortunate scheduling alongside Legend of Shanghai, a rival drama boasting a superior script and production quality. With audiences increasingly drawn to the latter, The Prisoner of Beauty struggled to remain in the spotlight and gradually faded from center stage. That said, not everything about the show was a letdown. The performances, particularly those of Zu'er and Liu Yunin as the lead couple, were a definite highlight. Their on-screen chemistry felt organic and convincing, especially in emotionally charged scenes that required subtlety and restraint. The actors approached their roles with sensitivity, giving depth to their characters even when the script did not. The supporting cast, including veterans like Liu Shaoqing, He Hongshan, Zhuan Lu, and Jiui Ziyibing, also delivered strong performances that elevated the overall quality of the production and prevented it from slipping into mediocrity. In the end, The Prisoner of Beauty stands as a series that is watchable but not exceptional. It had all the ingredients for success, a fresh premise, capable cast, and high production values, but ultimately lacked the narrative consistency and depth to fully realize its potential. With a more refined script and sustained focus on its initial themes, it could have emerged as one of the year's standout dramas. Instead, it leaves audiences with a bittersweet feeling, satisfied with the ending, but regretting the lost opportunities along the way.